and welcome to another episode of Dose and a Half Cincos. This is episode number 39. As always, I'm your host, David.
And I'm Stuart.
I'm Ben.
And this week, we'll be covering Street Sharks Season 3, Episode 3, Sharks in Time, as
No.
wait.
Well,
what
that's
is it?
is that
Actually,
the
no,
unofficial title?
Right. Unofficial title, but the real title is Shark to the Future.
I think this whole season's called Sharks in Time. Am I mistaken?
I don't know.
In a half show, yeah.
Yeah. And then the movie of the week this week was a audience request for...
Because clearly we wouldn't have picked this for ourselves. I mean, right, guys? Totally. I would...
Judge Dredd and the Traveling Gun.
Hot Shots.
And that's... Actually, no, it's Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, brought to you by one Hannah Martin.
Hi, Hannah.
Hannah.
I'm pretty sure she'll never listen to this.
So, hi, Hannah's boyfriend, Orville.
Where's that?
So, outside of our movie of the week and catching up on Street Sharks, what else have you guys seen? Ben, we'll start with you.
I watched more. I think I actually rewatched What We Do in the Shadows, the movie. So I rewatched that. Watched what was it? More of the TV show, more Community, of course. And I'm trying to start on Clone Wars because I heard some news for The Mandalorian Season 2 coming up, and it seems like everyone would probably get a little more enjoyment out of it if you were caught up on both Rebels and Clone Wars. So,
as in the animated series?
Yeah, the animated series. So I want to be a little familiar with what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah. They're very long. So
they're what, like 45 minutes each, and there's like how many seasons of that now?
I don't know if they're 45 minutes each, but I know Clone Wars is like 7 seasons, and then Rebels is like 4. So,
oh god, and each season's
45 minutes seems like a lot for an animated show.
Okay, maybe 30. All right, fine. 25 minutes. Let's do the really quick and dirty math, okay?
I hope it's like Robot Chicken style, where they're like 12 minutes.
Yeah. Wait, did you guys ever watch the original Clone Wars cartoon? Not the 3D one, but the 2D one?
There was a 2D one?
Both of them?
Yeah, there's 2 different ones. There's one that was 3D, and there's one that was like 2D, and it was made by the guy who made Samurai Jack and Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls.
That doesn't sound so bad. So, which one do we have to watch? Do we have to watch the 2D one or the 3D one?
The 3D
or
one.
Did they start off in 2D and switch to 3D?
No.
They're 2 unrelated.
So 2D is non-canon, not canon anymore, I guess.
No, I mean, the 2D one was pretty much a whole bunch of short stories during the Clone Wars. So it really didn't have anything.
What was the name of that thing that you wanted us to watch together, Stu? The short story for Marines, Space Marines?
Oh, a Star Tease.
A Star Tease. That's okay. I'm gonna look that up. Okay.
It sounds like you're saying Star Tease.
Yeah,
it's
a Star Tease.
Star Tease.
Star Tease.
Stars teased.
Star Tease. A Star Tease.
Who they did that? Why do you always default to that? Why? Why?
What do you mean default?
Yeah, this is how he talks.
Yes. Why does he always go back to it? Put on your radio show voice.
Yeah.
This one. Welcome. Here's your football, young man.
Pleasure.
I don't know why I default to the one. That's where my comfort zone is. I feel comfortable in it.
You know, David, there's a whole country of people who talk like that.
I know.
You could go live
America.
there.
No.
Wait, there's a whole country that speaks broken English?
Yeah.
It's called Chinatown. All right. Ben, for those who are not familiar with the Clone Wars series, or where are you watching it now?
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Okay, so for those who want to get caught up ahead of the Mandalorian season 2, which I think is scheduled for next year, correct?
Yes, it
2021.
is scheduled for next year, and the casting for it, including the directors and the actual actors, has been really surprising so far. And there have been some rumors coming up of some people that may be fan favorites. So I definitely want to get ahead of the curve and get an appreciation for this before the episodes come out.
Be like, I really enjoyed the book. Instead,
The Clone Wars books were much better.
yes, the
Fun
animated
fact: I actually read
series.
Attack of the Clones of the novelization. All right.
Oh, we're not reading your fan fiction, Ben.
Well, okay, fine. Let me recite it to you. Chapter 1. Anakin sexily takes off his Padawan robes and becomes a Jedi Knight's
Oh
body.
Jesus! What age? Which age Anakin are we talking about? God, bro.
As a Jedi with a high metachlorine count, his mind is swimming
Oh
in
God.
hormones.
And
Oh,
what's
boy.
not really talked about.
Okay, we're not
in
going down this
movies-
road, Ben. As much as I enjoy this,
Metachlorine, you can tell someone's metachlorine count by looking at their penis.
Oh, I guess we're on a list now. If we weren't already.
Okay, all right. Stu, what about you? What have you? What else have you been watching outside of our movie of the week and Street Sharks?
Other than pedophilic Star Wars fan fiction, apparently, I was watching. I started watching Jack Ryan on Amazon.
Oh, nice.
Is that the one with Jim Halpert?
Yeah, Jim Halpert. He's had a lot of. He's bounced around a lot since leaving the paper company, like going to be a Navy SEAL and stuff, and then
Mhm.
he was at the Benghazi place, and then
Saving his family from.
like the alien monsters took over the world, and he had to be real quiet all the time.
Yep.
And then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna be a super secret CIA agent. He's a man of many talents.
He is. Is the show good so far?
I finished the first season. Yeah, and it's pretty good. I'm gonna finish watching it just because I've already watched. There's only 2 seasons. I've already watched the first one. Some of the things that happens in it are kind of like, I feel like they're rushed. They're kind of like, doesn't make, some of the things they do in the show doesn't make too much sense, I feel. But I'm just gonna finish it just because I've already watched the first season, and plus it's John Krasinski. So
Is it something that you'd recommend to someone who isn't like too into action?
yeah, if you're not like if you're not like super into action, you'd probably enjoy it. It's like a good kind of like thriller kind of thing. If you like, I guess if you like the Tom Clancy type stories, then yeah, it'll probably be pretty good.
And wasn't there there was already a few Jack Ryan adaptations for film and television, right?
I don't know about TV, but definitely pretty much every Harrison Ford movie he did, like those Tom Clancy books. That's
like Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah, Indiana Jones, Air Force One,
right?
The Air Force One, the Crystal Skull,
Air Force One, and that one, that was a good one.
Temple of Doom.
Did you say Chapel of Doom?
Temple of Doom. Temple.
The Mosque of Doom.
The cigarette of Doom. Yeah, but no, yeah, it's fine. It's just
it's fine.
It's fine. If you're looking for something to watch and you can't think of anything, you can watch that. So,
well, if you haven't gotten enough, recommendations from this show, then I guess when you've run out of all of them and you've watched every single one, then Tom Clancy's left.
Literally every other show and have not watched this one yet.
Correct.
There was a show on Netflix. I feel like something came out recently.
House of Cards.
No. What?
Tiger King.
No, dude. I don't know.
Cards.
Did you guys watch Tiger King? I don't really feel like I have a desire to watch that.
I watched the first and the last episode, and then apparently,
why would is that how you watch all your shows, you monster?
No, I was told to watch all you have to do is watch the first one and watch the last one. You'll get the entire thing. There's no reason to watch the rest of it. I was like, okay, and I watched it, and I was like, I'm extra confused. I went to work the next day, and people were talking about it, like, oh, did you watch it? I was like, yeah, I watched 2 episodes. He goes, oh, the first 2? And I was like, no, the first and last. And go, so you know about this? And I was like, What
Huh?
what happened? And then they just named Carol Baskin a bunch of things, and I was like, I don't get it. And I was like, but I have no desire to know what that means, so I'm just gonna
I don't
keep
know.
moving on with my life.
I don't really have a lot of interest in those types of like reality style stories or documentary things. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of documentaries, but I sat down and watched it because I wanted to get all the jokes, pretty much.
You wanted to be included. You
I
fucking
did.
wanted to be
I
part of
want
the
to be
memes.
relatable, okay? When someone, it says a
fucking
line from
sheep.
it, I
Too
want to be
hip
able
to
to
be
respond.
cool.
I don't want to be excluded. Oh
I don't.
no.
Oh,
don't.
jeez.
And guess what? I'm going to start just quoting Tiger King things, and me and David are going to have a laugh about it, right, David? Right?
Yeah, if it was the
Right.
first or the
Fuck,
last
yeah.
episode. David, wasn't that credits funny? Sure, Ben.
Hey
Whatever you
David,
say.
that guy sure was a Tiger King. Am I right?
Oh, sorry, that was the laugh track.
And then I'm like, I don't get it, guys. Clue me in. What's going on? Come on, don't
It's the name.
exclude me. Come on.
He said the show's name. Just kidding.
But I
Okay.
will say it was pretty enjoyable just to watch these kind of people go around, and it's just like, how do these kind of people exist? And there's no way a person would rationally do something like this, and yet here they are.
but they do.
Yep,
But
it's
they do.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Crazy. You know what? I think that's going to be our next show after it's no
Oh.
longer relevant.
Okay, yeah.
We're gonna wait 5 years, and then nobody's gonna know Tiger King references, and we're gonna throw them out there.
Yeah. Right before
Like-
Netflix takes it off their own show.
There's going to be another episode of it, or they're going to do another series for it,
What? Like a spinoff?
apparently, except it's going to focus on Siegfried and Roy, apparently.
Tiger
Oh,
King
but
2, Tiger Kings.
Actually, pour one
Tiger-
out for
Electric Boogaloo.
Siegfried. No,
Oh,
Roy.
yeah.
Roy
Roy
is
passed
stupid.
away.
Well, I guess Siegfried. I don't know if they're like buds or if they're just all for show, but I guess if they're buds, that's too bad.
Yep.
Shit.
Nah.
Well, I was gonna say something before you brought that. You became a Debbie Downer.
Roy and Marth. Just
Okay, okay.
No one
David,
played
nice.
Smash here, David. We're not dumb Smash kids, all right?
Tell us how you really feel about Smash. Ben.
Okay, here we go. You ready? Okay, we're not even going to talk about Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants anymore. We're just going to talk about Smash, all right? Now let's talk about, you know what? I don't really have any problem with Smash.
I was
I'm
gonna
just
say, I was like, wait a minute, didn't we all play at some point?
I just remember
jealous.
Ben was gonna go pro.
Ben kept saying "fuck Smash" one day, so I was like, "Oh, he must hate Smash."
Yeah, it's because he sucks at it.
Yeah, and I was really jealous of him, their talent.
There's no dive kicks in Smash.
Actually,
See, now he loves Smash again. All right, moving on. So for me, I actually finally got to see Spider-Man Far From Home.
did anyone ask?
Yeah,
All right,
like,
moving on. All right,
yeah. Why don't you go back 6 months ago and tell us on that podcast?
All right, here's
we
our
were
box
talking about
office
it.
rundown because we don't care about what David's watching.
Go ahead.
Top number 1 box office rundown: Spider-Man.
You guys
Far
suck
From
at
Home.
this. This is not easy. You have to go to the
Number 2.
street. It's Street Sharks.
Number
We
2
haven't even
box-
gotten into Street Sharks yet.
Okay, fine. Number 1 at the box office is Street Sharks Season 3, Episode 3, Shark to the Future. That's not even clever. That's not even... They just literally replaced back with shark. There's no pun. There's no play on words. There's nothing. It's just Shark to the Future. All right, David, what do you think of Spider-Man?
Let's move on. I don't care anymore.
What was your
What was
favorite
your-
part of Spider-Man? David?
I don't want to talk about it.
Come on, David.
Yeah,
No.
my favorite part was when Doc Ock actually starts
That's
syncing
not
the
that
thing.
one.
I like the part when Spider-Man or Peter Parker starts dancing on the street.
Yeah,
And he's
that was
wearing
pretty
all black.
Wait, no, or maybe it was when Jamie Foxx starts rapping, like during the
What?
fight scene. What, you don't
Yeah.
remember that when Jamie Foxx starts rapping about his feelings,
Yeah, that was
like
cool.
while they're fighting? It was great.
I don't remember that.
Oh, okay. What about the part where what's her face, Gwen Stacy, like falls to her death and she breaks her neck? Was that your favorite part?
What movie?
Or
are you
was it
guys
the part
watching?
where they fought in the high school when there's that giant lizard and they're destroying all the lockers and shit?
Yeah, come on, David.
Come
I
on,
don't
David.
remember
Did you
any of
watch it or
those.
did you not watch it?
I didn't watch it. I lied.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Just wants to fit in. Fucking
I
sheep.
did. It's the. I thought it was enjoyable. I don't know.
That's
For
great,
me,
David. All right, let's move on.
For
Wait, what
some
brought you to
reason,
watch it finally?
I don't know. I just finally just kind of got bored just in watching it and looking
Did
for.
you get too bored of playing PGA 2K20 or whatever? Fucking grandpa.
2019. I
Do
could
they have
become
big
a
head mode
pro.
in that?
Huh?
Do they have big head mode
Actually,
in that?
no, they do not have big head mode in that.
Can
I'm
you play a
actually
Shaq?
kind of wishing that they had made Mario Golf again. That'd be great.
Oh yeah,
That'd
that
be
would be
fun.
pretty cool.
Or they can just
Actually,
port
it's
it.
fun.
Yeah.
Well, I heard that they're actually bringing it over on the new update for Nintendo Online or something like that. There's a bunch
Oh,
of
that'd be pretty cool.
N64 code and stuff like that for GameCube and stuff like that. They might be porting over to the Nintendo Online. So I don't know what we're gonna see. But actually, I switched over to something else. But I actually wanted to bring up to you guys was I found out I was inspired by watching some guys on Twitch. They were doing NBA 2K20. And since we are out of basketball for who knows how much longer, I was wondering because of the fact that we don't have fantasy either because there's no basketball.
Oh God,
You
yes,
guys
let's do it. Well,
you
let's
guys would
put
be
all the
interested
AI and bet on them.
kind of like that,
Oh,
but not really. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to, I was interested to see if you guys wanted to do a fantasy draft, like actual fantasy, with every NBA player, no matter how old, because that way you can finally get to see what MJ versus Kobe would be like, Magic Johnson versus Kobe, Larry Bird versus Kobe,
Kareem
Kareem
Abdul-Jabbar versus
Abdul-Jabbar against.
Kobe.
Now you see where my head's at.
Elgin Baylor versus Kobe.
So
you could play anyone
that's right versus Kobe.
versus Kobe.
No, because for me, actually, the interesting part is there's two modes that you can kind of just do a fantasy draft and just go through a season. One is the season mode, and the other one is a playoff mode. The only problem is in season mode, you have the bare minimum number of teams is 30.
Jesus.
All 30 NBA teams. You can have more than that, or you can have up to 30. 30 is the minimum. 30 or up to 36. Because I guess every team needs to be represented. So for the playoffs, it's only 16 teams as the normal NBA playoffs would be. Obviously, you can expand it, but I think 16 is good. But I was looking at our teams from before, and there was only 12 teams. I don't know if everybody would be interested in doing this, but I would like to take one of our Twitch streams during this next month and turn it into like a game of the month or like the all-star game or something like that, because I played through one season so far, just kind of simming, and you can get to the NBA all-star game and it's the same. It'll be like whoever has their captain or that team, that player will gets to draft the other starters, and then they get populated with the all-star game. And I think that'd be really cool for us to kind of like cast together if you guys would be interested.
I would be interested, but from everything I've seen, like about 2K20, it just seems like it's such a garbage like game, like mechanics.
Well, I mean,
Or
if
am I wrong?
it's we're I don't know. I mean, from a video standpoint, we can work on it. We can kind of take a look, but I think for me, the most enjoyable part of fantasy, outside of like during every week, is just kind of like talking trash to Stu, for example. Every
Wait,
week I
what?
play it. But the most fun part of the entire season is the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm thinking maybe instead of doing it like slowly, just like going through the season, it gives you the season stats and stuff like that. I would obviously draft for all of the other computer teams, and we would just pick the crappiest players that are available. So with that in mind, I would let you guys do. I think this might be our highest like Twitch viewership day. If we were to do it on Twitch live, the like the fantasy draft, and let them like pick their players from the chat, right? And then just kind of like see how that goes, and then we'll sim the whole thing. We'll sim through all the way through the All-Star game. And let's say, for example, it's the three of us, right? And then Stu and Ben, both of you ended up with the best player in the league, right? They got voted, whatever. let's say it was Magic Johnson and Kobe Bryant were like the top two, and then I just
Or
don't
Patrick Ewing and Kobe Bryant.
and or Detlef Schrempf and
Kobe
Kobe Bryant. Because here's the thing: is you can actually force to see who wins the All-Star game, not the All-Star game, the All-Star ballot. And so at that point, then you would get to do the draft for that. I think that'd be kind of fun as well, to kind of see that and then let the game play out. We don't have to play the full 48 minutes. We can like cut it down to like 5-minute quarters or something like that, just to be able to have something to talk about and kind of dish on and stuff like that. So I think that'd be kind of fun. And then you would get to the end of the season, there'd be a playoff, and then we would crown a champion, something like that.
I see what you're doing, David. It's because we're this week's episode. We're talking about Sisterhood, the Traveling Plants.
Yes, piranha
Also
plants.
So you have to talk about something dude related, like talk about sports and
Oh, finally! Thank God you guys
masculinity
figured
and
it out. That's right.
testosterone.
Yeah,
I get
fantasy
it. I see you,
basketball.
David. Yeah, sports, beer,
Yeah,
monster trucks.
hot dogs. Actually, no buns, just the wiener.
You just want wieners.
There it is.
This is gone.
All right, so just think about it. I will put together something. Hopefully, it'll get a little bit of interest from the rest of the guys. Because I don't know. For me, I feel like after watching Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, we may not have a pair of pants that we pass back and forth, but we have this basketball league that we've been in for, sheesh, how many years has it been? At least 10.
I've only been for 7.
Well, some of us are real friends with each other.
And some of us have won in those 7 years.
Yeah, David.
I don't know what you're talking about.
In fact, I think I'm the only one sitting here who has a champ cap.
Yeah, David.
I have 2 of them, but it's not an actual champ cap.
Oh, so that's not a champ cap. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You had. You know what? I'm not going to do this with you.
I had what? Say it.
Nope. I'm going to move on because this is not worth airing. Airing Dirty Laundry.
No. Say it. Say it.
If it wasn't for. If Sean was on this, I would kick Sean's butt right now. Because if it wasn't for Sean, you would not ever have held on to Giannis Antetokounmpo. You didn't even know who he was.
That's true.
I was willing to trade. You were so intrigued by willing to trade Dwight. I was like, I'll trade you Dwight Howard, and I forget who it was, the other guy was, but it was a decent dude. And then you're like thinking about it, and then and you went to go ask Sean the same day of the draft, obviously.
Did I?
Because I think yeah. You asked him the same day while we were drafting. I came up and asked you. I was like, Stu, I'll trade you 2 for 1. I just want Giannis. He's a rookie. Blah blah blah. This not maybe a rookie. I think it was like his second year in the season in the league.
So you're upset that you couldn't pull the wool over my eyes.
Correct. That's horse crap. No, I. If it was just like, oh, you had looked up the guy because I asked you, that'd be a whole different thing. But the fact that like Sean was so defiant and was like,
hey,
no, man, you need to sit on this, blah, blah, blah. I was like,
take it up with Sean.
I did. Why do you think he's no longer on the podcast?
Oh, it all makes sense now. That's why he doesn't talk to us anymore.
Well, that's also because I gave him unlimited free tickets to go see Cruella. So he's just been following them around so that way, let's not go there. Okay. Street Sharks, episode 3 from season 3, Shark to the Future. We'll make this really quick. Thoughts, Stu, Ben?
There's a new theme song.
Yeah.
That was a montage. That's a montage.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
you don't have a theme song like
it was
15 minutes into the episode.
I mean, it was a theme song for the episode.
Yeah. I don't know. It was confusing.
Yeah, I think
it wasn't really a montage because it wasn't things that they were doing currently. It was things that were
previously.
Yeah. So it was
but they were traveling to the future, so it's things that they'll end up doing.
So they sent the theme song into the future of the episode. Oh my god!
Oh,
yep, so meta of most metas.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
meta world piece of Street Sharks episode.
That you said that. I think last week I mentioned that I think I found where the budget went, and I think I was wrong. I think the budget went into the montage that they had.
You say this every week.
No, I think I said for this season.
That's right.
It was for this season. I said last week. Yeah.
I think Stu, you also said I think the next episode's gonna be like there's another episode that needs to be like Shark to the Future since they went to the past or something like that.
Yeah, I
right?
think this whole season is going to be time travel related.
Yep.
When did they get the Dr. Paranoid's time machine? They didn't have it last episode, so how come all of a sudden they're like, man, it's so great that we got to capture this thing? And I'm like,
Yeah,
what the?
I don't
I missed
know,
that, right? Okay.
but I figured with everything else that happens in this episode, it's like, oh, maybe it just they were like, oh, we don't have time to show when they got the time machine. We got to edit that out. And
All right. So I think for this season, since it's so random, instead of like us trying to review it or say what our favorite thing is, I think what we should try to do is sum it up with one word. Stu, what is Shark to the Future? One word for Shark to the Future would be.
okay, give me like 45 minutes.
Okay, Ben.
I will travel back in time to give you my
One word. All right, fine. Phrase.
shark. Fine,
Go ahead,
shark.
Ben.
Shark. Because
That's
apparently you could replace any word with shark. Any word.
true. It could be shark to the shark.
Yeah, or shark,
Whoa,
shark, shark.
Meta. For me, it would be Skynet
Okay.
because apparently,
Yeah, it's nice
Dr.
when you can
Paranoid turns
you
into
can
Skynet.
prepare this ahead of time, isn't it, David?
Yeah,
no, I
just-
thought of this on the spot. Actually, was thinking it the entire time, and yes, I carved this out to make it for myself.
Wow.
Let's do one word. Go.
Paranoid. I don't know.
Marry, bang, kill.
Go.
Ripster, and Ripster.
Let's see. I'll marry Jab. I'll kill Ripster, and what was the other one?
Marry, bang.
Kill, bang, Streaks.
All right, so I think that'll do it. Box office rundown. So since this week, it seems like this will be the first week where America is going back to work. I don't think that includes movie theaters just yet. I think it might be a little while before we see that. Maybe a couple more weeks, but we still have the same top four. They're all from IFC Films, from like the same 4 theaters somewhere. I don't know. But interesting news that came out today was the possibility that Amazon may purchase AMC. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Ooh.
What was it? The AMC stock kind of bounced up because of that, right?
Mm-hmm. So it went from it bounced up like about 35-40% or something like that.
I don't know the numbers honestly,
From $4 to like $5.20, something like that.
You're watching
So
that stock pretty closely there, Ben, huh? Along with your movie pass stock, huh?
Yep. Don't worry, still got it.
It's coming back.
Any day now.
You'll all feel stupid when it.
When it finally hits a penny again. I'm sorry, Ben.
But there was some other interesting talks that Disney might be buying Regal or something.
Oh,
Whoa,
fuck
is
off,
this like
Disney.
is this literally an arms race? Well, here's also an interesting thing. I actually was reading another article maybe about 2 or 3 months ago when Apple started sliding that Disney was sliding because of the coronavirus. Apple may be considering purchasing Disney.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Holy crap. Can you imagine what would be like what's left?
So much
Amazon,
product placement.
yeah, literally everything would be there'd be like the Power 5, right? It'd be Microsoft, Apple, Amazon,
Alphabet.
Amazon Cloud, and Google.
Alphabet.
Yes. Alphabet. Soup.
Yep.
So,
Man, it would be like Frozen 3, and then they're gonna be like wearing Beats in it.
Yeah.
And then like fucking, I don't know. I'm not digging it. I really hope Disney doesn't buy Regal or any movie theater for that matter, because then it's like, what? All movies going to be rated PG at the most? Like, what the fuck?
Well, not only that, but I mean, it's pretty much if Disney buys Regal, right? Then they have free reign to kind of just flood those theaters with just pure Disney stuff. They can like bully everyone else out. I mean, it's already been pretty bad already when a Disney movie comes out, where they have to pretty much say to every movie theater, you have to show this movie for this allotted amount of time, and they kind of push
6
everyone
months.
else out. Yeah, I know that the New Beverly Cinema over in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's movie theater, kind of he said some things about the whole Disney process and how he fucking hates it. You know, if like a new Star Wars film comes out, it kind of just shoves everything off to the side. It's like, fuck you all, I'm Star Wars. You know, give me like give me 5 theaters all concurrently playing the movie at the fucking same time. You know,
I need
But at
5
this-
of your 8 theaters.
yeah,
But
or
at the
8 of your
same
8
time,
theaters.
isn't it also based on the fact that a lot of people want to see those films in the first place, though? Isn't it also kind of like partially demand?
Well, I mean, a lot of people want to see those theaters because Disney will have the money to do all this marketing to say that you want to see these movies and get, you
Oh.
know, all your kids to be really hyped up about it. Of course, you're going to go fucking see it because all you're
Is it-
fucking seeing is like Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. And it's like,
Is
okay,
that the
yeah.
reason? Is Disney paying you, Ben? Is that the reason why you always say
This episode is
Disney
sponsored by
Plus?
Disney. Enter
That's
I
what
Love Disney
thought.
code.
Oh my god, there it is.
Oh yeah, and catch
Sue
The Mandalorian season 2 coming soon.
to Disney Plus. Make sure to use your discount code DosNavCinco's to get ESPN and Disney Plus on your
Where you
same
can-
subscription for only $14.99.
where you can catch all of our bullshit filler material that nobody wants to watch on Disney Plus.
Hey, I want to watch Mighty Ducks.
No, but like you see, like
The
they have so many of these like whatever, like who cares shows on it, like that are just like tangentially related to their you know their big
Host material.
properties like Star Wars or Toy Story or something.
Yeah, like Clone
Or-
Wars.
or
Clone
Simpsons
Wars?
season 13 on.
Yeah. My favorite part of the Clone Wars was when the perfume district got attacked. That's fine. Fuck you, David. It sounded like you said Clone Wars.
All right. So let's just jump straight into our movie of the week this week. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Hannah, if you don't listen to this episode, I'm gonna beat up Orville.
And that's how Stu beat up Orville.
No, I guess you're beating up Orville because she's never listening to this episode on purpose now that she knows
Orville
that
would be like,
that's
"Why
our
are you beating me up? What did I do?"
Yeah, think about the next time you do something like this, okay?
All 3 of us are gonna office space him.
Oh.
We're gonna take him out into a field.
So, Stu, since you're going to be the one who felt so bad, that probably means that you wrote a synopsis for this, right?
Go
ahead, Stu.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you got for us?
Four lifelong friends embark on a journey one summer where they all experience different ups and downs in their lives, but with the support of their magic traveling pants, they are able to come closer and have pants.
It wasn't their pants that were magical. It was their friendship.
Oh no, it was the pants.
Yeah, did you even watch the movie, David?
No. Yes.
Literally, the only thing keeping them together were these stupid pants.
No, and FedEx. FedEx made a lot of money in this movie, constantly
did.
expressing all over the place.
This episode brought to you by FedEx.
Get
Yeah, we're
get
gonna get a
20%
lot of
off
pay.
on next day air freight delivery.
Because apparently,
your-
you know,
With
shipping
special
from-
code pants.
Pants. Cinco's pants.
Every time I hear pants, I always go back to the Krusty becomes like a stand-up comedian episode.
Mhm.
And then Homer's like, "Don't you hate pants?"
Pants. Don't you hate pants? Hey, Krusty, why don't you talk about pants?
Pants. He lights it on fire and throws it at the. All right, Ben. I know you probably had something prepared, but I think Stu did does a great job. I don't think we need yours. at
You're
all,
right.
But if you,
Yeah, I killed it.
Yeah. Also, I
Yeah,
didn't
so-
have anything prepared, so thanks.
oh, great. Handing off that perfectly shaped
Well crafted.
synopsis,
Yes.
we're gonna hand off to Ben, which it magically also fits on. Ben, what are your thoughts on Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants?
You know, I really identified with the character of Tibby. You know, I'm more of a Tibby kind of person. David, which character do you identify with the most? You know, I already have a character kind of thought out for you, but I just wanted to hear which character do you really?
Oh, I know
identify-
which one David is.
Bridget.
That is such a Bridget thing to say. That is
Yeah.
such a Bridget thing to
I
say.
knew it. I knew it. knew it.
Because he's a slut.
Yeah, he's a slut. There's no two ways about it. I mean, it's not like a sexist thing, but holy shit, have you seen someone be portrayed more?
She is thirsty, man. She was
as-
real thirsty.
So thirsty,
Well,
like
you go
holy
drink some
shit.
water.
And also, I did not know that was Blake Lively. That was.
I was
weird.
actually very surprised about that, and the fact that 3 out of the 4 lead characters are all huge like stars.
I thought you were gonna say sluts.
Also, that I never knew that. Like, I don't know. This is what it probably feels like to read one of those like romance novels that's at a Barnes and Noble. You guys know what a bookstore is?
Yeah,
Oh.
pretend like we don't know. Pretend like that's like the first time for you.
His name was Fabio. And he glistened in the sun from the sweat beading. I don't
Glistening across his muscular chest.
Dude, we could write pretty good fan fiction. Stu, why'd you stop?
Why is it like Russian now?
I don't know, because it's funnier that way.
Russian erotic novels.
I'm not doing the accent. I swear to God, I'm not going to do the accent.
Yeah, why don't you read it in English? Come on, I want to hear an erotic novel with that broken ass English. Let's hear it.
His name was Fabio.
Oh man.
Okay, so I will say that it is we're definitely not the demographic this is aimed at.
Oh no.
But some of it was okay. I do feel like some of it was jammed in. It was pretty much 4 completely unrelated stories. They jammed into one magical pair of pants and try to pass it off as something great. And parts of it, those out of those 4 unrelated ones, I felt like maybe 1 3/4 of it was okay. The other 2 1/4 was kind of garbage and rubbish, and then they rushed it at the end to make it feel emotional or relatable and try to get that cheap shot in to say, hey, this is really emotionally resonating with you, isn't it? It's a real tearjerker, even though, for the first fucking 30 minutes of this plot line, it had nothing to show for it. And here we are at the end, at the goalpost, and we made it. I don't know how we got here, but damn, don't you feel something? Like, holy fuck, the Bridget storyline kind of was like, what the fuck? Carmen was okay. Tibby was okay.
That's the 1 3/4, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and then Lena. So pretty much the 4 storylines that we have are, let's see what we got here.
Greek girl goes to Greece, finds Greek boy.
We got Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. That one episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where Will's dad comes by. Backdoor Sluts 5 soccer camp. And My Big Fat Greek Wedding or Romeo and Juliet. So that's what we got. And none of them really stuck the dismount. None of them.
All right, Ben, I gotta know what's your score for this? The 4th time around.
Okay, so for the Tibby storyline, I'm going to give it maybe 6 out of 10. The Carmen storyline, I'm going to give it 3 out of 10. The Bridget storyline, oh man,
10 out of 10.
Yeah, it really depends on what mindset are you in. I mean, are you are you in the Pornhub kind of mindset, or are you on the Disney Plus kind of mindset? I don't know.
And Lena Calgaris.
And then Lena, I don't know. I mean, I've only seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding like twice, and Romeo and Juliet maybe 5 times. So
how about Mamma Mia? How many times?
Mamma Mia.
Why would you have seen Romeo and Juliet 5 times?
Wait, did you not see it 5 times?
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I saw it 10 times.
Wow. Okay. What was your favorite part of that movie, Stu?
The part where Romeo and Juliet get together.
They didn't, Stu, you dumb fuck.
Actually, they did, Ben, if you've watched it 10 times like I did.
I made it happen.
Wait,
There's
David,
secret
I
ending
never
after watching it the
actually
9th time.
I never saw Romeo and Juliet. I only saw Sherlock Gnomes.
Ben, do you have a thing for gnomes? Is this what's
No
happening?
place. There's gnome place like gnome.
Oh my
Did you
god,
know that
dude.
there's a place called GnomeHub.com?
No. Is this
Special sponsor GnomeHub.com.
is this a subdomain of Benflix?
Yeah.
That one you need a special password to.
Gnomehub.benflix.com.
Yeah. But yeah,
So
they
what's
were
your
all.
total score? Spit the shit out.
I would say probably like a 4 or a 3.
Okay.
43 out of 10. Okay. Well,
Damn, never even gonna give it that one.
I guess
But still,
if we're all hanging out and Hannah doesn't talk to you, I guess we know why.
I know. What about you, Stu? Thoughts on this
Uh,
movie?
so yeah, definitely not for us. Definitely not our. We're not the demographic, which is kind of interesting to do when because otherwise I probably would have never watched this movie ever. So it's kind of interesting to see like how some movies would like what they're like when like they're not really made for you, not made for you, but made for
You mean
your
they're
kind
like
of
targeted
demographic.
for a certain audience?
Yeah, exactly. Because we were talking about like, oh yeah, Extraction on Netflix, it's so dope. But then, yeah, we would have never watched this. Oh yeah, also watch Extraction on Netflix. Yeah, but other than that, it seemed like it had like its kind of like typical arcs, not typical arcs, but like the kind of ups and downs. There's kind of like some funny moments and a lot of emotional moments and all that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, I haven't watched a lot of these types of movies, but I feel like they all kind of have like similar things going on where there's your comic relief here, there's your serious moments here, and everything in between. So I mean, it wasn't a bad movie, I don't think, but like some of the stories I didn't quite. I have some gripes with, kind of like with how Ben was saying, but I don't think I would rate it so harshly. Um, so I mean, I'd probably give it like a 6
Okay. For
out of
me,
6.
oh,
No,
one
6.
unlimited damage.
Yeah.
For me, I agree with you. I probably would have never stepped out to go watch this, but I actually kind of enjoyed it. I would give it a 7 out of 10. Um, I think it's interesting, like you were mentioning, Stu, that kind of see what the other side sees, and I think at the end of the day, a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, I had similar experiences with that," or they may have those kind of like that growing up moment that they. It was actually kind of nice to see that it didn't all kind of just work out, because I
Mhm.
feel like a lot of these movies that tend to like target, like, let's say, I think this is what, early high school, like high school age
Teenage,
girls.
yeah.
Yeah, that it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be, you're gonna mess up, and we kind of romanticize that, and the fact that oh, what's her name, Blake Lively's character, kind of pursues this guy because that's all she's ever wanted, but she's never actually experienced anything, and then at the end goes, why do I feel so empty? And I was like, whoa, okay, that's a little real. Who's watching this movie? So but I think like it was able to kind of hit on some pretty like heavy notes about like having how to deal with a father who left, and the fact that actually one of my favorite actors is in this, Bradley Whitford. He was on
Oh, was he the dad?
West Wing. Yeah, West Wing. Yeah, he was the dad, and uh he kind of plays the same character in this movie, where he's like this like quick talking, like very kind of witty, but then he kind of becomes kind of a pushover, right? Because his new wife is kind of like telling him what to do, and he just kind of like says yes sir, no, yes ma'am, no ma'am, or yes sir, no sir. I don't know what they're
Whatever they like.
yeah, whatever they're like.
No
And
judgment.
then yeah, so I think there were some portions I think I agree with you and Ben also, that like they kind of like rushed through some portions, right? Because they got to a certain point, you thought it was going to hit something, and then they kind of just glance over what happened, just kind of like, oh yeah, by the way, this thing happened. This is sad. Okay, let's all get back together, kind of thing. I'm like, what? Okay, all right. And oh yeah, that's because the movie's only 119 minutes, and we were already 115 minutes in. So I felt like some of the stuff was rushed, but overall, it's not something I would normally want to go see. But it was interesting for sure. And nothing really much to take away from that. Like we've been doing with all these older movies, especially a movie that was released in 15 years ago. Actually, if we had reviewed this 3 weeks from now, it would have been 15. It would have been 15 years to the date. It was released on June 1st, 2005. So,
Jesus, we were in high school. We were in high school. Ben was in fucking diapers. Not because he's that young. It's just that Ben didn't get out of diapers till real late.
I'm still in them.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well,
I was
now you're just.
Have you ever
in them
seen
for
how he
convenience.
travels?
Not for convenience. Let's just say it has something to do with
it is convenient.
NoHub.com.
So that. So, with that in mind, like we've been doing the last couple of weeks with any of these movies that have been released a long time ago, we've been doing kind of a blended spoiler zone and just regular basic movie review. So, Stu, Ben, I was interested. What was your gripe with the movie?
So, like I said, I know I kind
not
of
enough nudity. Great. All right, moving on, Stu.
They didn't show full penetration in the.
Well, we don't have the budget.
You're supposed to. It's like those. It's like those romance books. It's all in your imagination. They set
some of them have pictures.
I don't know. I think some of those romance books actually get pretty graphic and graphic detail. So
yeah, and I bought one of them, and it was a flip book.
Yeah, I bought one as like a goof, you guys, and like I totally read it,
and it changed my life.
All right, Celine
Hector
Dion
will always love you.
And then he rode away on his horse. Sorry, go ahead.
So I said that they are 4 completely unrelated storylines, and I will stick with that. I don't think that they kind of fit together at all. They had like the very loose theme of coming of age and kind of finding yourself, but I feel like that's way too broad to put these 4 storylines together and make one cohesive movie. It just felt like kind of an anthology, and the plot lines for each of them were already pretty fucking thin. And then with the short runtime this movie had, well, actually, no, it wasn't short. It was like 1 hour.
2 hours.
Yeah, it was almost 2 hours. Never mind. I felt like, if you took each storyline and kind of broke them up into separate little containers, they're already pretty short. And I want to say a good quarter of each one was just montages. Was just like, here's Kelly Clarkson, and here it is for like a quarter of their plot line. It was getting really tiring, and not only that, but I want to say a lot of it was like just weird ass transitions. It was just like they're focusing on Carmen's storyline, right? And then, here's a literal 5-second transition of Lena just walking down to the ocean and getting in a boat. All right, we're back with Carmen. Like, that was literally one of the transitions. I'm like, wait, why did they do that? Like, that didn't serve
at the same time. It's happening at the same time.
Great. She's on a boat. That doesn't come into any, like, anything meaningful. It doesn't, like, pay off anywhere. It's just that she's on a fucking boat. Great. It's like, not only that, with these thin-ass storylines, they didn't know how to really properly close all of them, and so what do you get? You got fucking Deus Ex Machina for all of them. Great. Like, Carmen, she's got, like, years of neglect building up with her dad, and her dad, like, they didn't even resolve this issue, how, like, they fucking just abandon her at a dress shop. She ran away. They didn't do anything about that, and they're just going to leave it. He doesn't say sorry or anything.
Hey, KFC's family pack's only enough for 4 people. The 5th one,
man.
come on.
Yeah, Ben, you're gonna act like you're gonna share that extra chicken with the 5th when there's only barely enough for 4?
I'm not.
Yeah.
But now with the KFC 14-piece meal, I was actually I was pissed because I actually got KFC last week and I got 12-piece for like $30.
What?
Because I ordered online, right?
And you mean like a combo family pack?
Yeah. And then I walked into the store and they advertised a 14-piece meal with an extra side
for $20.
Don't goofed.
No, that's a processing fee. $10 processing fee for
$10
for not going in.
Did the person at the front go like, "Oh, here's your family meal"? And you're like, "Hope your wife and kids are good." And you're like,
"Yeah."
Wife.
And I yelled out, "I'm like, honey, kids, we got the chicken."
as you're walking out the
door. Who is he talking to?
Apparently he has a wife and kids out there because clearly he wouldn't eat that all himself.
In the bucket.
Okay, but going back to this, I want to say like some of the writing seemed pretty bad. Like you know how sometimes you watch a show and they're watching like this really like they have to say like some sort of joke where it's like, oh, we're watching this movie, and it just seems like such a parody or a satire. It's like Kickboxer or something where it just sounds so ridiculous and so stupid. It's obviously a parody, and then like they're watching it and in the background you can hear some sort of like cheesy ass line from like the type of movie they're watching,
right?
This definitely had some of those lines where if you just like kind of tune it out and you're just like, wait, like how do they have these kind of lines in it? Like one of the lines was, take the pants, let them work their magic on you. They already work their magic. They brought me to you. Like there were chock full of these. Like the movie started out with one of them. I didn't really understand the magic of the pants when I first saw them, and it was just like this whole montage of them like sewing the pants together and everything. It like this whole movie was like just a parody of itself.
It could have been a movie from Interdimensional Cable.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. Like it could have been like that. You know, it's like off screen. You kind of hear it's like, oh, I'm watching Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. You know, like even the title of it, and then off screen you hear like, oh, the magic of the pants brought us together. It's just like, oh my god, oh my god.
Oh my god.
There was one part of the movie I was kind of weirded out by. So Blake Lively chases her dog right with the pants, and meets what's his face.
They leave the dog.
Yeah, they left the fucking dog.
He'll figure his way home.
Yeah, she takes the pants.
Don't worry, Maggie. Maggie,
she friend zones the dude that she fucks on the beach, and she leaves the dog. I'm like, wait, why did you leave your dog?
That's actually, I got a big gripe with the immersion of this movie. Yeah. When she's been gone all summer. She comes back. The dog's so happy to see her, and she does not even fucking acknowledge it.
Yeah.
That was like, no, that is not a thing. Anytime you come back from a long trip and your dog comes running up to you, you spend like minimum like 15 minutes with him.
Yeah, what the fuck? That was a whole like 6 points for me. A whole 6.
Yeah. Didn't pet the dog on her return. -6. Not even a pet.
Yeah. But yeah, I will say, like, these 4 unrelated stories, there are definitely better versions of them out there. Like, the whole story, the movie as a whole, there's definitely a better movie out there with the same themes. Like, coming-of-age story where, girls who are young have to kind of deal with adulthood all on their own and kind of figure everything out. There's, like, plenty of those. And this one did not do a good job of it. I mean, Booksmart was one of them. Booksmart definitely did a wonderful job of that. Little Women in 2019, that was a really fucking great movie. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where Will's dad comes back.
When Will Smith was a teenage girl.
But I gotta say, I hated the ending of Carmen's storyline. That really put a damper on everything. Like, even as much as I did not like the movie, like, that really just nailed it in where I'm like, okay, that was bullshit.
You didn't like the fact that she went back to go support her dad?
Why? I mean, like the whole justification came out of nowhere. It's just like, oh yeah, you can stand up here with my family while I get married, even though for these past few years I've been neglecting you, and I didn't say fucking sorry for anything, and I left your mom, and I found this new family without telling you, and we also left that other shit unresolved with your stepbrother and how he gets to visit his dad like once a month, and I visit you every 2 years or some shit.
Well, I mean, there is a second.
The pants are magic.
Maybe it's
She
all
found forgiveness in one of the pockets.
Oh, I like that. That should have been the number 3. But I think they're way too old now at this point to do a third movie, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, America Ferrera, Blake Lively. I mean, unless it's like Sister of the Traveling Pants Part 3, where they all are moms and they're dealing with kids. Yeah.
Well, if that happens, you heard it here first, and we want credit.
That's our IP right there.
That's right.
Yeah, you know what? I want to lower my score to a 3.
Okay. So that way our movie can be at least a 5.
But you have to divide by 4.
All right. Well, so it seems like Ben has laid some pretty heavy stuff on us here. So when I was watching this, I was actually taking notes on my phone rather than on my computer like I normally would. But so some of my notes are kind of like things I was observing, which I thought were funny or notable. So I'm just going to kind of run through some of them, and some of them might just be like quick quotes that like I might lay on you guys and see if you like know what I'm talking about, or not quotes, but like just like almost like little blurbs,
isms,
yeah, little isms, or
life lessons that you learned from.
Yeah. So one of my first ones is I thought it was funny that I don't know, like Ben, you were saying with the writing, like with the cartel soccer camp, like
cartel soccer camp.
They were in Mexico. Keep going.
Are there no soccer camps? Are there no soccer camps in the States that she could have gone to?
There none in America.
Like there's, I mean, what? Because Mexico, they're good at soccer. Wow, that's racist. Writers.
Maybe this was like a super expensive, like bougie white person one where it's like, oh, white people, they love Mexico and combo shit. Here, let's send them there.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, because everyone there would seem like really fucking rich.
All right. So I thought that was really weird that like Mexico, she could have gone like anywhere. There's soccer camps
too.
Like I thought this was America.
Why don't you go to Germany? They're the ones who won the World Cup or whatever. Well, that was recently. This movie was 2005. Anyways, so here's something I wrote down that I'm wondering if Ben will catch. So it's there was one part of the movie where this popped into my head where it's stupid, sexy Greek people.
I want to say that during that whole storyline, I actually looked up what the age of consent was in Greece.
Is it 17?
It's 15.
I don't know if that makes it better, but
it definitely makes it a lot better. If you
no, it's not hot anymore now that it's legal, right?
What about in Mexico? Is it 17?
I don't think there is one. Anyways, moving on. No, but like that was the part where she was she first arrived. She was trying to like draw, and like she kept getting distracted by all like the people having like good times with each other.
I was just like, everyone's just making out, holding each other. It's like, damn.
Oh, I don't have anyone to do that with. Which kind of leads me to my next point, which I've always found is kind of weird in TVs and movies. Where is it just me, or like they glorify these romantic relationships between like differently aged people like this? Like,
like the college guy and the high school girl.
They're all 16 from what I gather in the beginning of the movie.
Yep.
And then you have this Kostas, the sexy Greek guy, who is
Giannis.
He's clearly his name's Kostas. Kostas.
Yeah, Kostas Giannis.
Akadekempo.
You'll get that name one day.
Yeah, and I'm drafting him. I call it I'm drafting him.
I don't know. I've always thought that was weird. It's like half of the storylines involve that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm assuming because the soccer coach guy was like, "Oh, I'm going back to Colombia or
College,
whatever."
yeah.
So it was like, okay.
But
Oh
he
yeah,
could be a freshman in college.
and then he says like the icing on the cake at the end, which reminded me of Reno 911 when he's like, "When you're 20."
20, yeah.
Yeah.
And all the guys are fawning over you. Can you promise me to give me a shot?
That was so fucking creepy. I'm just like,
Even
oh,
though I
fuck,
took
dude.
your... Dude, he literally should have just spelled it out and said, even though I took your virginity.
Yeehaw.
I don't know why he sounded southern, but I know they're from like New Hampshire or something
I
like
know
that,
to
right?
you, every white person sounds like a cowboy. So,
Yeah.
Your hair?
but yeah, the other going back to Costas, there's a Chris D'Elia video of him at the Gotham Comedy Club in New York where he does like 10 minutes of crowd work, and he encounters someone in the crowd named Costas, and it's probably one of my favorite improvised bits. So if you have a chance, go check that out. Chris D'Elia at the
Oh,
Gotham Comedy Club.
Marshall Mathers. Okay.
I couldn't stop thinking about every time. Oh, Costas.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we already touched on how thirsty the soccer girl was.
Mhm.
Was there a Dragon's Lair 3D?
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I kind
sure
of
if
wanted
they-
to play Dragon's Lair. If there's anything I got out of this movie, I wanted to try that.
Okay.
I know
I
it's
mean,
a really old
Dragon's
game.
Lair is just a whole bunch of like just
Pictures,
decisions
right?
you make, right?
It looked like Dragon's Lair 3D was more like you had more control of it.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
seemed like. Which oddly enough was the wizard behind the joystick, an Asian guy named Brian McBrien.
Why is it McBrien?
I don't know, but he's definitely
I
not a
got
Mick.
him. I got him. Do you know where else you've seen him before?
Chinatown.
No.
Wow.
He's on
Koreatown?
another
Tokyo.
show.
I don't know.
No.
Fresh off the
David,
boat.
turn on your webcam. I'm pretty sure I've seen it there.
Hey,
Oh, he was Jackie Chan's extra in Rush Hour.
no, Too Fast, Too Furious, and
Jackie
also
Chan was in Too Fast, Too Furious?
and also Westworld.
Nope,
never
I
saw Westworld.
haven't seen any of those.
Yeah.
So
I got him confused because I thought he was the Asian kid from 21.
I see.
Oh man, he does kind of remind me of that Asian kid from 21 now that you mentioned it.
I actually got it confused, and I was like looking at him. I was like, "How come his movie's not listed as 21?" And I looked it up. I was like, "Oh, it's a different Asian kid."
Wow.
Wait, that's how you
That's
know.
really
That's
racist, David.
It's not because I'm white. I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
So they all look the same.
So yeah, just to rattle the next couple off. At one point, I thought the soccer coach guy was gonna be gay. That would have been pretty funny.
I've
like
never
when he
kissed a girl before.
he turns her down
Neither.
in the cantina. I was like, oh, because he's gay. That's why.
Mm.
But no, apparently because he was having second thoughts about banging a teenager.
I mean, probably a good, second thought to have.
yeah, but then he didn't have. Then he had a third thought after that. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
A third.
One thing about the whole movie in general, though, I thought was weird is like, how come it seemed like half of the stories, seemingly like the two arcs of Carmen and Tibby, they just get shitty, just soul eviscerating like events happen in their lives, and then the other two, they get fucking have dope ass summers getting laid by beefcakes. Like, how come I don't? And there's no explanation. Like, I thought each of them was okay. Well, they're all gonna have either good summers or bad. It's gonna somehow be a bad summer. But it seemed like, inexplicably, specifically, who's the one that went to Greece?
Lena.
Yeah, she has like the dopest one, and then yeah. So I thought that was weird. And then one last thing I thought I wrote down here. Let's see. It was shirtless nips.
Yep.
They look like pepperonis.
Draw me like one of your Greek boys.
Yep. That was also. I liked it when the grandma went through her art book.
Yeah,
This is not nothing. And of course, they had to CGI the actual nude drawing of Costas out.
costas. And lastly, to wrap it all up, I shouldn't have gotten a boner. So,
And this is why you're going to prison.
yep, those are my notes on the Sisterhood Traveling Pants.
Speaking of boners, it kind of reminded me of.
What?
I watched the other two. I watched both of the Jumanji movies.
How do boners
Wait,
get-
what is that? You saw
Because-
the rock and then you just popped one? What?
No. There's a joke.
mean-
that
Oh,
one
Jack
of them
Black.
makes.
Jack
Yeah,
Black.
there's a joke that is in there that one of the girls ends up taking over one of the characters that's a male, and then she's so surprised she's like doesn't even know what to do, and she's like, "Oh, that's what happened," and yeah, that's reminded me of that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, great. All right. Any other thoughts before we wrap this one up? Yeah, we're gonna end up with the word boner as the last word for this episode. So okay, all right.
That's the title, I think.
Boner. So question. For you guys, what movie have we got any other requests to do other movies?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, that means that we get to pick one.
Oh boy.
Little boy. What do you guys want to review since it looks like movie theaters should be coming back pretty soon, but I don't feel comfortable going.
Yeah, me neither. I'm going to wait.
Yeah, I'll probably wait at least until June or July. If it gets better, then maybe. But if not, then nope. Extraction.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
Guess we're doing Extraction.
Well, all right. I guess there was no.
Yeah, we gotta
Yeah, I think we need to balance it out with the
Yeah, we need to
movie we
get
just
some more.
watched.
testosterone back here. So
All right. So, thank you, Hannah, for the suggestion. We would never have pretty much touched on the lighter side if it wasn't for that. So, once again, this has been the Dos Nav Cinco podcast. I don't even know how to wrap this up at this point.
just
No
like
idea.
the writers of the movie. Hello.
All right, so thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Dos Nav Cinco's. Tune in next week. We will be covering Extraction. That is the Netflix movie with Chris Hemsworth in it. And as always, I'm your host, David.
I'm Stuart.
And I'm Ben.
Don't forget to tip your Reiki masters. Make sure to stay 6 feet away from each other. Do whatever it takes to stay safe. Hope you guys are okay out there, and we'll check you guys on the next one. Okay, bye.
Bye.